Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sonic from SEGADriven.com and welcome back to our Sonic Amateur Games Expo 2018 coverage. In this video we're not going to be looking at a Sonic game. It's going to get Nintendo-y for a little bit. So yeah, we're looking at Grand Dad Mania Revived. So a bit of context first before we get into this. If you haven't seen it, I'll put links in the description in this video, but there's a video on YouTube of Vinesource playing some unlicensed Mario games on the NES. One of them is called Grand Dad, and his reaction became a bit of a meme. In response to that, there's another channel called Silver Gunner who does sort of unlicensed... No, it's remixes of songs, but it's put forward as like actual rips of music from video games, but when you listen to them there's always something a little bit off. And they did a parody trailer for Grand Dad Mania, as in like a Sonic Mania style revival of Grand Dad, or Grand Dad. So yeah, it's a bit weird. It's very sort of in-joke, you know, very, very niche in-joke on the internet. Again, links in the description if you want to check out the original videos so that you get a bit of context for this. So, this game then is essentially an attempt to make that parody video by Silver Gunner into an actual working video game. Because that parody video was never an actual game, it was literally just made for a video. But whereas this is. So, you play as a weird bootleg looking Fred Flintstone with a Mario face, and it's based on a Flintstones game on the NES with very similar mechanics. The only thing that this really adds... Actually, no, there's a couple of things this adds. So, it adds a dash, so you can run, which makes getting about a lot less slow and arduous. And you also have two sub-weapons, which are throwing axes and a slingshot, which I must say do help things a little bit better than your standard club attack, which... the hitbox is very, very tight for that. You need to be really close to enemies, and you often lead to a lot of... unnecessary deaths because of how close you need to be to things. But otherwise, this is really pretty, in keeping with that parody video. So again, looks great, just like the original. Very playable, really tight, and just a fun time, to be honest with you. Like, I'm really surprised at how well this came together, despite the fact that it's based on possibly one of the most niche jokes on the internet out there. But it's the strength to the original game design and that parody video that this works so goddamn well. Because, alright, yes, okay, the programmers obviously had to do some fantastic work to actually get this working and make it feel tight and responsive and playable. But at the same time, it's like they followed that the original gameplay and the video so well that this is really, really playable and really fun, I've got to say. I had a lot of fun playing this. My main criticism of it, though, is that it does rely on an awful lot of precision platforming and jumping onto the edges of ledges, hanging off them and then pulling yourself up. So if you don't get the edge of that ledge, which is an awkward thing to say repeatedly, sorry about that. Yeah, if you don't grab the edge of the ledges perfectly, you often fall into pits, and there's a lot of unnecessary deaths, unfortunately. So it can be a bit frustrating. I did die an awful lot playing these two stages whilst recording the capture for this video. Luckily, it's got infinite lives on at the moment, so that wasn't such a big issue because I could just carry on from the last checkpoint and you know, plough through. But I think in the finished product, if they add lives and things like that, that could well be a little bit of an infuriating little sidestep, unfortunately. Like, I think they either need to make grabbing onto the ledges sort of like automatic, so that when you sort of hit the hitbox for the ledge, you just automatically grab it instead of having to hold up. That would help things because, yeah, at the moment it's you really need to be quite dexterous to have your fingers on all the right spaces to be able to jump, hold up, and then press jump again to bring yourself up in very precise platforming. Such as this. So, yeah, it can be a bit challenging, it's got to be said. But like I say, infinite lives, so you can have as many cracks at this as possible, and it's quite a fun time, it's got to be said. But yeah, that's Grand Dad Mania Revived, or Grand Dad Mania Revived, sorry, I should give it the correct title. A real surprise. Again, I know it's a bit of a niche thing, and it's running off a joke that's probably a little bit too, well, like I say, niche for a lot of people, but... Again, strength to the original game that it's based on and the parody video that this totally works really well and is fun in its own right, to be honest with you. Despite the fact that it is very much made as a bit of a joke, it's such a successful attempt at bringing it to life that it can be enjoyed on its own merits as well. So definitely worth checking out this one. I had a lot of fun with it.